Welcome back. Welcome back to episode 2 of Becoming Glitter, the podcast. I am your host, Richie White. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for podcast number 2. I'm excited for this subject and this topic. I'm trying to, you know, work on some things, work on the lighting. I want the lighting to be a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more drama. Working on camera settings, mic settings. So hopefully by episode 10, we'll be where we want to be. But how have you guys been? I hope you guys have been great. I've been wonderful. Wonderful, delicious. I've had such a great response with podcast number 1. So it definitely encouraged me to try to kick out episode number 2 as soon as possible. I'm still trying to figure out a day to release the podcast. Because like all of my favorite podcasts that I listen to, like most of them come out on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I'm thinking maybe I'll post on either Monday, Tuesday, or Friday. I'll figure out a day. You guys let me know if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know in the comments like what day you think I should post the podcast. And I hope this lighting is flattering. Because if not, we're gonna be switching it up again. I gotta look good. Anyway, so let's get straight into the episode because this is going to be a very important episode. This is about loving yourself. Yes. Um. mm. Let's sit with that for a minute. Mm. Self love. Self love. What can we say about it? It's difficult. It's hard. It's it seemed like it's something that's very far out in the grass. Like I, it feels like you'll never touch it, but you can. It can be touched, and you can implement self love into your life and make it a habit and make it your permanent lifestyle. It's hard though to love yourself or try to commit to it because we live in a society, we live in a world where it's really tough to love yourself, especially when you are a little bit outside of the norm or you constantly looking at social media and you're nothing like everything that society say that you should be. Like for myself, I'm overweight, I'm dark skinned, I'm short, I'm a little bit of a weirdo. I have very abstract thoughts. I don't roll with what everybody else roll with. I mean, of course, I have like general standards and morals and things that I believe in that most people believe in. But outside of that, I'm not really a traditionalist. And um, yeah, just my whole thought process and, sometimes how I behave, you know, can contribute to how people treat you, in which if you're not self-aware or if you're not doing the work, it could cause you not to love yourself. I know for me, when I was younger, I think my problem really started when I was younger because when I was younger, I was very much a rebel. Very much a rebel, never really went with the flow of things. And growing up as a child, I just constantly heard negative things about myself from people. And I was told I was mean, and I was told I had a bad attitude. I was told I had a smart mouth. I was told that um I was told pretty much every nasty thing in the book, and I was getting picked and teased on about my complexion. I profusely remember being called African booty scratcher all the time. I remember just so many like um negative things that was thrown out to me about my complexion and my looks and things like that. So when you hear that all the time, it's kind of really hard to gain some type of self-esteem or some type of reason to love yourself, especially when you're not given the tools to ignore the outside things and really start to build a relationship with yourself to where you can fall in love with yourself. And the sad part about it is that when you don't love yourself, it causes all kind of chaos and mayhem in your goddamn life. It really do. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Think about how many things that we have done that just caused trouble or was not beneficial to our life. And when you dig down deep in it, we did that shit because why? We did not love ourselves. We didn't love ourselves. When you don't love yourself, you tend to act out of desperation. You tend to do things that you're not comfortable with doing. You know deep down inside that you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. You tend to reject things, people, and opportunities that you know that you should have took. And you tend to accept things, people, and opportunities into your life that you know shouldn't be there. You, I mean, when you don't love yourself, you tend to give yourself a very, very toxic life. You tend to live in a way that is harmful, not only to yourself, but the people around you. And I know firsthand. I know firsthand. Because I lived a whole life out of not up until what recently? I lived my whole life out of desperation and not loving myself. Well, out of desperation because I didn't love myself. A lot of things, a lot of opportunities I missed out on or I rejected because I didn't love myself. I didn't believe in myself. Why didn't I believe in myself? Because I didn't love myself. Even down to when it comes to health, when you think about it, when you're not eating right, when you're not working out, when you're ignoring signs and symptoms and things that's going on into your body, you don't take care of it, you don't approach it, you don't make the changes. Why? Because you don't love yourself. When you have a good relationship with yourself and when you love yourself, when you see little things pop in and out that you know is unacceptable, you like, hell no, this ain't going. What? My blood pressure high? You hit that treadmill, don't you? What? This person cheating on me? You get rid of them when you love yourself. Loving yourself can profoundly change your life and keep you out of negative and toxic situations. But you have to get to a point where you become self aware enough to know and understand that the reason why your life is in dismay and mayhem is because you don't love yourself. And this really just goes beyond taking care of yourself. This goes beyond self care. This goes beyond going to therapy. This goes beyond eating right and exercising. This goes beyond skincare routine. It really starts about how you think and how you feel about yourself. Because you tend to perform in the ways that align with how you feel about yourself. When you think you a bad bitch, you gonna do bad bitch stuff. When you think you that you gonna do that type stuff. And it doesn't even have to be egotistical or narcissistic. You just know that you are worthy of the best. And you know that the only person that can give you the best is you. That is self-love. I'm working on that. I can't wait until I really get there. I like myself. I appreciate myself. I think I'm an amazing person. But am I at full capacity self love? No, I am not. I got a lot of stuff I need to work on. There's a lot of things that I don't do or that I stop doing because I felt as though I was worth more than that. That's how my celibacy journey started. I stopped doing the wild thing because I thought I was better than the people that I was, not better than them in general, but I deserve more than that. But there are little other things that I do that doesn't scream self-love. I don't eat right all the time. I'm not exercising the way that I'm supposed to. Sometimes I overindulge in a little bit of alcohol. Just sometimes I go a little bit over what I should be doing. And I know this. I know this. Sometimes I could be eating a Big Mac and I really will look at the Big Mac and I'm like, really? You know better than this. When I'm on my fourth drink, really? You know better than this. So I have the awareness. I just don't have the discipline. Self-love is self-discipline. Ooh, I like that. Self-love is self-discipline. That's nice. That's nice, isn't it? I think so. Mm. But because I'm aware that I don't have this uh self-love installed at 100%, my little tracking bar is not at the top. It may be like at 50 or 65. There's just a lot of things that I'm not doing because of that. Like I don't necessarily want to get into a relationship or start dating because I don't want that desperation to kick in and I start messing around and fooling around with people that are no good for me. Why? Because lack of self-love will cause an act of desperation. And an act of desperation will cause you to lose your life. We'll have a whole episode about being desperate. Don't worry about it. I tend to not make friends as easy right now. Same reason. Lack of self-love cause uh, an abundance of ooh, a lack of self-love tends to cause an abundance of desperation. Ooh, that was another good one. I like that one. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I'm stopping just because it's not there yet. It's not there. And I work on it daily. I work on it daily. So, of course, I came into this podcast. As you know, I'm not trying to have long podcasts, but I did come into this podcast with some tips on how we can start um, including self love and engaging into self love because we're not going to be able to get where we want to be. That full glow up moment ain't going to happen until we start loving ourselves. I need to stop with this B Simone voice. I just got finished watching our podcast. Don't worry, it'll go away. Um, so let's go ahead and get into these tips on how we can start that self-love process and daily processes to eventually make self-love a part of our DNA and a part of our daily lifestyle. Let's get into it. So, step number one is we're going to practice self compassion. Start treating yourself with the same kindness, care, and understanding that you will offer close friends. Be gentle, forgiving with yourself, and oh, be gentle and forgiving with yourself when you make mistakes or face challenges. Yes, this is a very important thing because we tend to be extremely hard on ourselves when we be human, which is it's bad. We are all human. We all make mistakes. We all tend to do things that's just not right at times, and we will tear ourselves apart because of it. Don't forget, as long as you're alive, a lot of things are repairable. A lot of things are repairable. So don't be too hard on yourself. If you make a mistake or you cause a catastrophe in your life somehow or some kind of way, you know, I know it's hard. I know it's going to feel bad, but it can be fixed. Okay. So the next step is develop self awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, feelings, and behavior without judgment. This can help you identify negative patterns, belief that may be holding you back from self love. This is, ooh, I practice self awareness because it took me a long, long, long time for me to become aware of my thoughts, my patterns, and like how I'm perceived, you know? Being self-aware is it's hard. It's really hard to really just be y'all know I got a y'all know I have a problem with that word. Monitoring. With monitor well, see, it's okay. With monitoring your thoughts. We're gonna go with monitoring, okay? It takes a lot to do that. And it takes a certain level of realness for you to sit with yourself and monitor what you're thinking and how you're behaving and check yourself on it. Okay. The next thing is nurture your physical and emotional well being. Take care of your body by eating healthy, getting good rest, and engaging in physical activity that you enjoy. Also, prioritize your emotional health by engaging in activities that bring you joy and reduce stress. I said this earlier. Taking care of your body, eating right, doing good by your physical self is a is an act of self-care, an act of self-love. I don't think we have to go any deeper in that, but this part I want to um I want to focus on this part by engaging in activities that bring you joy and reduce stress. One thing I always say, especially if you're a creator, if you're a business person, working hard every day on your craft and on your business, whether you're working it full time or not, is the ultimate act of self care and self love. Taking care of those things that makes you happy and joyous, taking care of those things that could possibly be your life purpose, you can't get no better than that. You cannot get any better than taking care of yourself in a way that's going to help you create the person that you want to be. What? Huh? Okay. Um the next one is embrace your strength and weaknesses. Learn to appreciate your unique qualities and acknowledge that everyone has areas of strength and weakness. Focus on what you do well and work on developing your areas that you would like to improve. That's what this podcast is all about. It's about the glow up, becoming who you want to be and improving yourself. And that's whoever you want to be. Everybody version of their ultimate self is totally different. Um but I think when what I said last podcast, when you put a name on it, you can resolve it. So when you acknowledge the things that doesn't when you acknowledge the things that you know that you can improve and and stop ignoring these things, like that's like the ultimate flex. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's certain things that people just don't want to improve. Like I was listening to somebody yesterday and they said they know that they're petty and that's something that they don't want to change. And if that's you, well that's just how you roll. Like who am I to judge? Who am I to judge? But if there's things about your personality, about yourself, about your spirit that you want to improve, go ahead and start working on that. The next one is practice gratitude. I love practicing gratitude. Cultivate a sense of gratitude by focusing on the positive things in your life. Start a gratitude journal and write down the things that you're thankful for each day. Excuse me. Definitely. Um being grateful just changed your whole perspective about life. Being grateful just give you that motivation and that boost to go ahead because you look at things in a different way. But I will also say be grateful for yourself. Be grateful for yourself. If you got up today, you went to work, you made your money, you did what you had to do, be grateful. Thank you. Thank you, me. Or um, thank you, God, for me. Thank you, Most High, for me that I was able to get up and do what I need to do to sustain my life. Be grateful for yourself. You know, when we do um, actions of gratitude or have our moments of gratitude, we usually thank everybody but ourselves. Be grateful for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. You're amazing. You're great. The next one is self set healthy boundaries. Establish clear boundaries with others that protect your physical, emotional, mental well-being. Learn to say no when necessary and prioritize your own needs and goals. I love this. And I want y'all to remember something too. Boundaries is not a punishment. Okay? Boundaries are not or is not boundaries don't challenge anyone. And a lot of people take a boundary as a challenge, especially your parents and your family. Family and parents hate boundaries because they see it as a challenge. It feels like you're challenging them, but it's not. Boundaries are there to protect yourself, right? And boundaries sometimes, depending on you know your attitude, depending on your attitude, boundaries could be there to protect other people from you. Because sometimes, we have people out here who whoops ass for real. They be whooping ass for real. And when you set your boundaries, that cause, until you get all of that in check, your rage and things like that in check, when you set your boundaries, that keeps you from having to whoop some ass. Okay. And going to jail is not an act of self love. All right. The next one and the last one is seek support. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage you. Consider seeking the help of a therapist or a coach who can guide you in your journey to self love. I totally agree with this. My therapist has been a godsend for me and constantly giving me tools and tips and tricks to engage self love into my life. Like when I first started therapy, I was in the pits. I definitely was at the lowest point of my life. You know, I mean low, low, really low. Um, and she's definitely been helping me with trying to figure out ways for me to really start taking care of myself and really becoming that no. And it's been working, it's been helping. You know what I'm saying? I still have a ways to go, but it's working. I think it's always good and great for anyone to have not only a good healthy support system, a good village around them, people who love them and people that they can trust, but to have a good counselor or therapist on hand that you can talk to about certain things. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes your friends and your family, they don't have the answers. They don't have the answers. And a licensed professional more than likely will. I want you to remember that self love is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. Be patient and kind to yourself as you work and develop more positive and loving relationship with yourself. Don't forget, it's about the relationship with self love. Self love. It's about that relationship with yourself. So, you guys, we have come to the end of the second podcast. Thank you for joining me. I've really had a good time recording this one. Like I said, I want to keep all the podcasts under 30 minutes. Like I said, the next couple of episodes after I drop it, we're gonna go ahead and go over to the Amazon AMP app, and then we can talk live on the AMP app, listen to music, and do all other kinds of things. So as soon as we get our footing with releasing episodes, we'll definitely go ahead and start doing that, and we can just talk about anything that you guys want to talk about. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can email me at askrichie@gmail.com if you have any questions, if you need any advice, if you need a word of encouragement, or you want to give a word of encouragement. Write in the email and let me know, and then put it in the email if that's something that you would prefer for me not to share. But just remember, anything that you send me will be I probably will share on the podcast unless you specifically tell me in the email not to share that. You know what I'm saying? But you guys, this is episode two. This is episode two. I'm really excited. All right, you guys. So until next week, thank you for listening to Becoming Glitter. Once again, I'm your host, Richie White, and you guys have an amazing week. Bye.